Talking of which, we're going to finish off TV Azura in style, aren't we?
We are indeed.
I think you should introduce this one because it's a real character here on board, and he's here to make us go out with a bang.
He is one of my favourite people on board. I'm very fortunate I get to spend every C-Day afternoon with him. Please welcome our very own cocktail pianist, Frankie.
Come and join us, Frankie. Frankie's even brought his own personal paparazzi with him as well, with the camera down at the front.
Yes, there's a lot of people around. Thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I know there's so much activity around the ship, and you still have the time to watch TV Azura. God bless you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Now, Frankiegliksman, if anybody hasn't met you yet, which I can't believe because I'm sure everyone on this ship knows you,
Sure.
you mostly live there in the Blue Bar, don't you? Most of the time.
Most of the time.
And sometimes in the Planet Bar as well. Cocktail pianist. How long have you been with us here at P&O?
With piano, I'm only 2 years, but most of it's in Azura. So that's good. That's like feeling at home. I started with QE2, you know, the famous QE2, and there I was also 2 years as a resident pianist. But then moving around, and the last 2 years when I came the first time over here, Benny, the cruise director, up to date. I fall in love with her, she fell in love with me, I fall in love with the Azura, I fall in love with all the entertainment group and the friendship ship like this. And luckily I'm staying here, and I hope to stay as long as possible. I love it.
You're part of the furniture, aren't you, Frankie, here?
Well, I hope the fresh furniture.
Now, tell us about your background then. Where are you from?
Well, I was born in Israel in 1946. It means 2 years before independence. So Israel was really like a little baby born. And my city was Holon, which means in Hebrew sand, and it was really sand. It was one main street. There's a dune over here, dune over there. So I have a beautiful, crazy childhood, but it was a very healthy childhood because we played around in the streets, and a lot of open houses, friends, real friends. Then I started to play accordion, and I went to learn strictly dancing. That was my intention.
All right.
Because that was the only chance to dance with a lady. But I was playing accordion, and the accordion player, which should play in that classroom, didn't show up. So the teacher say, somebody can play the accordion, and little Frankie say, me. So I say, go home and bring your accordion. And I stayed with this teacher for 10 years until I joined the army. And in the army, I was in an entertaining group playing accordion. So in fact, it helped me. In the meantime, I switched to piano also, and I was in the Academy of Music. But my first instrument was accordion, and then I was in the entertainment group. We made a nice band, because it was the first musical on board the military army. And when we got 20, I did my first cruise. On that time, Israel had 6 cruise ships. 3 days after we finished the army, we got a job playing in a cruise ship. We have to buy a jacket, we have to buy a tie, we have to buy uniform, because in Israel we used to go, you know, like the cowboys somewhere in the Arizona, you know, sandal shoes, shorts and shirt. And that was my first education of dressing a little bit proper and behave a little bit nicer and politely. So when I was 20, I started to play with a band, and we played 10 years together. Luckily, we traveled the world, and the main voyage for us was Nairobi, Kenya. Again, thanks God to the English people. All my career basically is by luck. Connection with the English people, as you see Azura too, and Kunar too. There was a very wealthy family. There is still very wealthy family. The name is The Block. And they have the Outspan Hotel, the Treetop Hotel, where Queen Elizabeth got the message that she's going to be the queen. And the coffee fields, and they were so generous. And he used to play in the Sheraton in Israel. And in the intermission, a gentleman approached and said, would you like to work in Nairobi? And we've been playing in the Sheraton Hotel. It was the best time. We have also Italian band, fashion show. It was 1967. It was great. And we was not thrilled to go. And I just got married, and the guitar player got married. And he saw that we are not so thrilled. And he said, how much money? You know, Jewish people talking about money. How much money you make here in Israel? We said, let's say 2 grand. 4. Would you like to come to Nairobi?
And you were sold.
Immediately. And you can bring your wife. So I was just 23 years old, and you can bring it also without paying. And the good thing that happened in Nairobi, my daughter was born there, and she's a red hair, and she's white. Birth of place, Nairobi. When she's traveling, she's looking suspicious. And you know why? She's red hair and white, born in Nairobi. So that was 10 years of my career. And then the daughter was born, and the clever ladies, the wife decided to bring the family back to the original, to Israel. There was mama to help. So we split the band, and unfortunately I have to start from scratch to be a piano entertainer, which I have to change completely my repertoire, because when you play dance music, as you know, you play the tango, you play the valse, you have to play rhythms, and the songs that was famous associated with rhythm. But when you play piano entertainer, you have to play a little bit of musicals, you have to play, of course, there's no drums, there's no guitar to back you, you are striptease, you, and the piano and the microphone. So I have to learn Matt Monroe, I have to learn a lot of repertoire, jazz, blues. And again, luckily I was playing in a nice hotel, and who was passing by? The sell of the century. Nicholas Parson.
Nicholas Parsons.
God bless him. Just a minute, still just a minute. He's still going on. And he was such a cute gentleman, and I didn't know him, you know. It was 1980. And even now, when you sing, I ask young generation from England if they know Nicholas Parson. They don't know him. But of course, the grown-up, I say the grown-up people, they know Nicholas Parson very well. And he had the Sale of the Century. It was a very big hit.
That was a great show, actually. They should bring that back, shouldn't they? Sale of the Century.
Well, maybe you give...
Maybe we should do it here on board.
Yeah, it's a good one. Anyway, he thought that I should deserve an international stage. And he said, make me a demonstration tape and I will try to help you in England. Well, after 1 month, I did a demonstration tape. And he said, Frankie, to put you in the English television, to make you a star in England, there's a big waiting list. You can be the big star in Israel, but England is not waiting for you. But come to London, I will introduce you to an agent. And Nicholas himself came and met me in the airport. I couldn't believe it. When I discovered what such a great star he was. And for me, it was such like so kind and humble and honest and friendly. And God bless you. Whenever, if you have a chance, if I'm going to meet him now, it will be the best surprise for me in my life. And in fact, he changed my life. I came to London and I introduced to this agent. And I passed the exams and they sent me, you know, where to? Finland. Because in England there was enough good piano players and singers, and in order to get some extra money for me, so I came to Finland and I opened the first piano bar, and the rest is history. Finland, Norway, Sweden, 15 years in Switzerland, Turkey, Cyprus, and then unfortunately the music starting to decline on land. And I say, hey Frankie, the only place that you can show yourself and get a decent job is the cruise line. And then I switch, and I have to make audition. Again, an English agent. His name is Gary Parks. God bless you, Gary. And I came to London specially to make audition. He took me straight to his home, put a video camera, shoot. And after 2 months, I had him went straight on to QE2, World Cruise. What can you ask more? So that was my best school. It was the best ship on that time on the fleet, and every place we go, everybody was just clapping us to welcome the Queen. And since then, I say never back on land.
And you've been on ships ever since?
Yes.
Wow. And how long have you been married then? Since you were 20, did you say?
23. So now I'm celebrating 43 years of marriage.
43 years of marriage. And during that time, you've travelled all over the world.
And that's the secret, distance.
That's the secret to a happy marriage, is it?
Exactly, yeah.
Because how long are you on board at a time?
5 months at least.
5 months at least at a time.
Months, yes.
So how many months a year do you actually see your wife?
2-3 months, something like this. We get used to it. If you see me more than a month, then, you know, the fire brigade is starting to work extra time. No, I love my family. But since I was young, the separation was there. It's like your father is a captain, so you can join him. So they join, they jump over, but they cannot stay for long. Even on a cruise ship, they can, you know, and at that time my children were small, so they have to go to school. They've been traveling around, that for sure. They have the benefit of being international, that your family is traveling and seeing the world with you, but not for a long period. So the separation was long ago. In the beginning, everybody was waiting for me in the airport. Ooh, father is coming, and they got present. Nowadays, I have to take a taxi to go back home.
Oh, Frankie, you mentioned you've got one daughter there. Is that the only child you've got? Or?
No, I have two daughters.
Two daughters.
One is 40 and one is 37. One is Lilach and one is Shiri. My wife's name is Rachel. So I'm a grandfather of 4. Mika and Shai and Dor and Yoav. 4 of them. So when I'm coming home, first my wife have to recognize me and still accept me as a husband. My daughter still respect me. And the grandchildren, if they like to play with me, it means I'm acceptable. When I pass these 3 exams, I can go back to the cruise ship and that's it. So I passed the examination.
Now, you have got quite a large inspiration, haven't you, in Louis Armstrong? He's quite a big inspiration to you, isn't he?
Yes, it's amazing because, you get inspired with musicians that's really... There's so many musicians and singers and everything. But the one who inspired me was, I must say, is Louis Armstrong because I don't have to pretend to sing like Louis Armstrong.
I was going to say, because you
can
sing...
see I speak like this and immediately I don't have to put any force. I will give you a tip later on how to sing Louis Armstrong.
Is that today's top tip, how to sing like Louis Armstrong?
Yes, that's the main one.
I think you should show us. Go on, tell us how we do it.
Well, first of all, you have to be black. So if you're not black, you have to
Well, we're not, so...
you have to paint yourself like Al Johnson.
Okay, right, we'll do that.
So forget about the color. And then you have to smile.
Okay.
Smile. And you have to have a good teeth, otherwise the smile. So
Okay.
you smile, you keep your teeth together. The trumpet, forget about the trumpet because now we talk about singing. A trumpet player I will never be. So again, smile, GG, keep your teeth together, and then handkerchief if you have, and then you start to sing. Don't open your mouth. I see trees of green, red. You see, I don't open my mouth. I see them bloom and a big smile. And then you say, yeah, baby, boo boo,
Millie, I think it's your turn
That's
first.
it.
I think Frankie's got a head start there. So
Go on, Millie, we'll both do it.
Yeah, Millie.
Go on.
no, you're going to leave me on my own.
No, I'll do it, I promise. I'll do it.
Yeah,
Go on.
It's for
Go
fun.
on.
You don't have to do it perfectly.
I don't think
Close
I
your
could do
teeth
it.
together and smile, and then try to sing.
I'll try. Go on.
Come on.
Trees are green.
Yeah. Millie, you've got it.
See trees are green.
All right.
Red roses too.
You see?
It's actually a lot more difficult than it looks, isn't it?
Yes.
Red
The
roses.
professionals.
If anybody's tuning in right now, no, you're not. Your eyes aren't deceiving yourself.
There are 3 Louis here.
It's how to be Louis Armstrong with cocktail pianist Frankie.
Yeah, if I'm going to lose my job as a cocktail pianist, so I will,
That's what you'll
I
do.
will make, but for sure, I don't like, that's why I'm taking long contract. I like to stay in one place for 5 months. Being a cabaret show, it's a week maximum on a cruise ship, and then traveling, then you have to be Mr. Perfect on stage. Of course, the fame is there and everything. I'm a modest guy and I always be. And I like to stay behind the scene. I can make mistakes. Nobody's crying. Nobody's, shouting.
Drama.
Yeah.
And it's a drama, opposite. Everybody take it with a smile. And I like to stay because when you stay long on a cruise ship, you enjoy the scenery. I mean, even when we are on sea now, there's so much activities, and you can do a gym, and you can listen to lectures, dancing. Everything is there. So that's the benefit. When you are a star and you have to move from ship to ship or on stage, that's a tough business. You have to be built for it, characterly and person. I'm not. I like behind the scene, and I feel so good with it, and that's okay with me.
I don't think you'll ever be behind the scenes. You have quite a following here aboard Azura, don't you? Ever since from day one of a cruise, you get your little fan club. They follow you from the Blue Bar up to the Planet Bar, and
Well,
they're there every
thank you
night.
very much, my groupies. No, it's very important for any artist. Doesn't matter behind the scene, in front of the scene. Of course, we are not behind the scene. We face the people and you talk to them. And the moment they have a chemic, kind of an harmony between you and the guest, that's the best compliment that an artist can get. Doesn't matter if it's a big stage or a small stage. 2 people give you attention. It can be a full house. For me, it's enough. And especially when you see them coming and waiting for you. And, I make my day because I please them. And that's basically, it's the any artist. You ask him, what is the what is the pleasure of being an artist? Is the feedback that you get from the people that they respect your talent, and that's the main thing.
And of course, you're being paid to do what you really love doing as well.
Oh, people say I was made for it. Nothing else. I would trade for it, and to think I get paid for it. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen.
So tell us then, obviously after all these years of travelling the world then, Frankie, if you were to say that one or two of your favourite places in the world that you've been to, what would you say it'd be?
I mean, from the landscape must be Norway. I mean, the fjords and the waterfalls and the scenery when you come in and you're going out, that's amazing. I was in Alaska and I was in Antarctica. Still, it's you see the ice over there, but there you see the green fields and the waterfalls and people alive. When you go to Alaska, okay, little villages over there, and it's the same landscape. And you go to Antarctica, it's iceberg, so okay, you see an iceberg falling down and some seals and this. But so Norway is the landscape. Life, easy life, is of course the Caribbean. And if you want to have some culture, that's Europe, of course.
Yeah, definitely. You do actually, if anybody's interested, you have a CD available, don't you, as well, of your work?
Yes, of course.
So if they pop and see you in the... Where are you this evening?
Today I'm in the Blue Bar. First of all, we start with the tune at 3:30.
There you go.
And then I play my sets in the Blue Bar.
So make sure you pop down and see Frankie in the Blue Bar either this afternoon or this evening. If you do fancy taking a piece of his work home with you, he's got those CDs available. Well, Frankie, you're going to do something quite special for us. You're actually going to play the show out today, aren't you?
Yes.
So we'll let you go and get ready at the piano, and we'll run through tonight's entertainment. Before you do that, can we have a big thank you, please, to the one and only cocktail pianist, Frankiegliksman.
Woo! I
Thanks
can
very
hear the
much,
sound of
Frankie.
applause. Thank you so much.
Frank, love it. Look at that.
Go and get yourself, as you do, all in a day's work for us here on board Azura. In the meantime, though, from myself, Liam J,
And me, Millie.
we're going to hand over to play the show out this afternoon, our very own cocktail pianist, Frankiegliksman. Enjoy your last evening on board.
Father's Day. Bye-bye.
Well, as I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, Louis is in town. I see trees of green, well, and roses too. I see them bloom, baby, for me and you. And I think to myself, yes, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, and the dusk night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Stevie bee boo 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 ba.
Frankiegliksman, everyone. Have a great day.